Welcome to Tennessee on Tap, episode 1. That's right, folks. We actually did an episode. We crack open Honky Tonk's Hazefest IPA. It's a 7% hazy. We have Kirby Bland on for our first official guest. Kirby's a drummer, percussionist. That's one of our close friends.
We discuss with him what it's like to be a traveling musician and his experiences on the road. And of course, craft beer.
Before we get started, we want to give a shout out to our close friend Greg from the Alexander Lane Band for our new intro outro. So we hope you enjoy episode 1. We are Tennessee on Tap. All right, let's try this beer out. We got Honky Tonk Hazefest IPA, 7% ABV. Hops grown in Washington, Idaho, Oregon. Raw wheat, flaked oats, malted barley, hazy yeast, and a whole lot of hops.
Oh, yeah.
Delicious.
Get that pour in there. I'm going to crack mine.
All right, first off, Kenny, what do you think of that can? Let's look at the artwork first.
I love the artwork on this can. It's got that vaporwave look with the sunset behind the mountains.
What was that game back in the 90s? Armor Wars?
Armor Wars?
You ever hear that? You design a robot and it's this weird grid pattern and you just roll up against other robots and you beat them and then you get their stuff to upgrade.
I was telling Kenny that it reminded me of Big Trouble. Shout out to Julian.
Shout out to you.
Oh yeah, it's got that vibe.
80s vibe.
Yeah, it does.
It definitely has an 80s vibe.
It smells really good. It kind of smells like orange juice.
It kind of has the look of orange juice. It's definitely incredibly hazy.
It's definitely citrusy,
hazy.
It's very hazy. I mean, that's definitely why it's called Hazefest.
You can't fucking see through it.
That's definitely
Nope. Can't see through that one.
That is a fact.
I know that's really helpful to people listening.
Yeah, that's a quality opinion right there.
Look, we're not here for this.
I'm here to drink beer.
That's right.
I'm here to drink beer.
But yeah, this is one of my favorite IPAs I've had in a long time, actually. Because as much as I love IPAs, I don't like it when they're super lingering on the hop flavor.
Mm-hmm.
And this one always seems to me that it kind of it's very hop forward. Like I get that hoppy taste initially, but then it kind of fades off really nice into the tropical fruity flavor.
Yeah, very tropical in the back. The full journey of the beer. It's very light, very refreshing. I think it needs to be a little bit colder.
It could be a little colder. I'm sorry for that one.
Kenny, where's your fucking what do they call that? Just does a keg room have a name?
Keg room.
Keg room. Yeah, where's your keg room?
Unless it's a single keg and then it's a kegerator.
You should get one of those.
Kegulator.
You should get one of those single draft things.
Yeah, like a kegerator.
Yeah, where it sits on your table.
Well, hey Kirby, I'm taking donations. So.
I'm not going to donate.
We have a GoFundMe
I would just like
account.
to see that in here.
Go to GoFundMe, look up Tennessee on Tap, donate to
How
us.
much are those things?
Kegerators?
Yeah.
It's a mini fridge and you drill into it.
But you have to have a mini keg, right? To obviously tap.
Not if it's a big enough fridge.
Yeah,
word.
What he's got now. Yeah, you need a small
you need a little
12.
One of those little Heineken tiny kegs.
Yeah,
12 barrel. I don't. Yeah,
it confuses me that a half barrel means the bigger one.
It's the full size.
That's really weird to me.
Well, a pony,
15 gallons.
Pony keg is a 6 stool. It's only the sixth of a barrel.
Yeah, and there's 3.5 barrel.
This is true. The more you know. So Kirby,
we should just get a jockey box. Screw the
jockey
box.
Okay, so that's brewer's stuff. Jockey box is this weird contraption of coils inside a cooler that's hooked up to CO2 and a keg. And usually if you go to beer festivals, that's what they carry around is a jockey box.
I know what you're talking about. I just never heard that term.
Yeah, it's a portable tap system.
Yeah. I know all about. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
those things are awesome.
So this is made by Honky Tonk down in Nashville, Tennessee. Kenny, you said it was dry hopped?
It is dry hopped.
Tropical hop flavor. We use hops grown in Washington, Idaho, and Oregon.
Yeah,
Indeed.
it's good. I mean, I would probably crush these for the next
Like I said,
few hours.
What's the percentage?
7.
Holy
My
shit.
favorite number. I
So
prefer
anyway, about this
77.
beer last night, bro. Chimay.
Oh, Chimay. I mean, that's
12.5% in a mini wine bottle.
Yeah.
Thick as fuck. And
thick
it
as
was,
fuck.
I mean, it was like, it reminded me of port wine. Like it was like,
Yeah, there's
heavy.
some really
Pretty-
good Chimays. I want to get my cousin Chris in here. He's nicknamed the Beer Guru. He actually went over to, I think it's Belgium where it's made, and went into the monasteries with the monks where they make Chimay.
shit.
Yeah, like he's a cool guy, and we need to get him on this podcast.
That's yeah, pretty legit.
My brother just left this morning with his flatbed trailer to go grab all of his stuff and move him down to Tennessee. So,
All right, on.
yeah, well, the Beer Guru will travel to Tennessee, and that's where he's going to
Made
live.
her the queen of my double wide trailer.
That's right.
Hell yeah.
That's right. That's right.
The boys on the road love that fucking
Yeah,
song
I think
so much.
I've met him before, haven't I?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he came to Prince. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I told him he looked like somebody, and he wasn't super happy about it.
I don't remember who.
Well, it's because he immediately told me I looked like Jay from Jay on the Silent Bob. Which
Oh, did you tell me he looked like Meatloaf?
I don't think it was Meatloaf.
There's some people that call. Oh, yeah, he looks like Meatloaf.
No, I said he looked like the lead singer of Government Mule. I can't remember.
Warren
that.
Hayes?
Warren Hayes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said-
Oh yeah, he
I said-
absolutely does. Actually,
Right?
Yes, holy shit.
Oh yeah,
I was
you
like-
met him, right? Yeah.
I was like, he was
yeah.
like Warren Hayes, man. He was
He
like, wow,
does.
yeah. Usually, he said,
really
yeah.
does. Holy shit, that's
Yeah.
right.
He said, yeah. Usually, I look like Meatloaf. He's like, so that's new.
Yeah.
That's a new one.
Well, between that and our buddy Dave at Prince Street, it looks like fucking what's his name from Metallica.
Oh, yeah.
What's his name?
Lars?
No, the singer James Hetfield.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
He
yeah.
Yeah,
looks just fucking
Neighbor
like him.
Dave.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
He looks, it's like accent. Like every time I fucking see him. He going on tour soon?
God.
Yeah.
I actually one time put I couldn't remember his name when I was bartending, and I put James Hetfield as his tab name. And when he ordered a pizza, I think the people came out and like gave it to him. Like the cutter came out and gave it to the guy I was describing.
Oh
And
my
his name was
God.
not James Hetfield. So I was like, hell yeah.
And
Dude,
this
it's
beer's
fucking- it's
delicious.
really cold out there.
God.
I
It is
bet
cold.
if you put those beers outside,
They get colder
they'd be
faster.
colder than in your refrigerator.
We just need to open your windows. It'll be fine.
Joke's on you.
Tennessee on
My
tap.
windows don't open.
Tennessee on tap live from a cold box.
We could do it live from the kegerator.
Do it live from the keg room, like a bunch of fuzzy jackets.
That they can't see.
Well, when you have video, ideally.
So we're all just here freezing our tits off.
I feel like I'm actually in Letterkenny. Huh.
Fucking
Trailer Park
Quebec.
Boys is better.
Shut your dirty mouth.
All right, let's talk about it.
Do you like Letterkenny more, Kenny?
Yeah,
Interesting.
I do.
I'm alone here. I much prefer
I-
Trailer Park Boys.
I've
Watched Trailer Park Boys 10 years before you heard about it. I promise you.
I've
No,
only
absolutely.
seen
I'm a late to the game Trailer Park Boys.
I
fan,
only say
but-
that because my dad came into town from Alaska and he had seen it from being in Canada.
It's the way of the road, bud.
Before it was on Netflix or anything like that. You know, people he'd met
The
showed
Netflix
it
that
to him.
popped it off.
Yeah, of course. But he showed me when I was really young, like when there was only 2 seasons out, and it was like pretty brand new, essentially. But anyway, he looked it up on some website on the computer and he showed it to me, and I was like, "Oh, that's really funny. That was awesome." And then I didn't hear about it again for like another, I don't know, 4 years or so. And then it came out on Netflix, and people were like, "Oh, have you seen that show, Trailer Park
Totally,
Boys?" And I was
Totally.
like,
I remember that. I remember.
"Yeah."
that
And I was like,
happened.
"Wait, like that weird show about the Canadian dudes in the
gotta
trailer
say,
park?" They're
About
like,
this-
"Yeah."
I gotta say, this beer, as it's going down about halfway through, like I feel like it's going down a lot smoother, but I also have like more flavor.
Yeah.
It's weird.
So I
It's
yeah,
like
I
I
think
have
it's-
then the first few sips, like halfway through, it's like damn, like it's like heavy.
It doesn't.
Like,
it doesn't.
in a good way.
Yeah, it doesn't like linger as much on your like your palate.
I feel
Until,
like,
like-
I'm drinking orange juice.
Yeah, yeah. I've this was like I could put ice in it, or I would probably actually just put a little bit of
Put ice?
champagne.
Ice?
Put a little
It's like a little beer mosa.
Yeah,
Champagne would be good with it.
Champagne?
Champagne.
probably something a little bit sweeter though, like a Moscato. It's not bubbly. Make it a little crisp. Why are you looking at me like that?
I don't know, man.
One time when I was a young drinker, and if Greg ever listens to
When
this,
I
it's gonna be
was-
hilarious. But
A young
Um,
boy
one of the first times
My
I ever
father
like was on a gig with Greg,
took me into
I-
the city.
got so drunk that I was sitting in a recliner, right, in like basically like a hotel or whatever, and we had a bottle of Jameson and we had Rolling Rock.
That's
Oh,
Kenny's
Fuck
robot.
was that?
that's my automatic air freshener.
Jesus.
I keep that in here for when dirty hippies like you come over.
Yeah, I think
I gotta keep the room smelling fresh.
I smell of flowers. It's okay. We had a bottle of Jameson and we had a Rolling Rock, which Rolling Rock is one of my favorite beers.
Oh yeah.
Like absolutely, like I could drink all of it. The problem is if I get a 6-pack of Rolling Rock, I can go through all 6 and really not feel drunk.
Man, let's talk about some disc golf.
Sure. Yeah, let's talk disc golf.
Man,
That's cool.
I'm not very good at it.
I mean,
I like it. The last time I went, which was like 6 months ago, I got really winded really fast. It's like Greg and Caroline, my roommates, are like fucking pros. So they're like doing that.
Okay,
shit, and then
okay,
we went
okay.
from
I'm
hole
gonna
to
stop you
hole.
right there.
Yeah.
Greg, not a pro. Caroline's
Caroline's a pro.
Caroline
Yeah,
scares me
yeah,
on the course because her
Sure,
putts are
yeah.
gnarly.
Yeah.
Like I remember, like
we have 2 baskets in our backyard right now.
one of
2.
is yeah,
with all due respect, Caroline is a bad bitch though.
she is. She's absolutely amazing. I love her to death.
Yeah, I got really winded trying to keep up with them.
Yeah, no, we need to all go out.
Oh,
And,
for sure. I'm
play
just
around.
waiting till it warms up again.
I have to
I'm
start.
not I'm a casual player. I don't really like to play that much in the winter.
I have to start doing something because I signed up for the frost toss.
I was about to say a frost toss is coming up.
Good. It's at the end of
I
February.
I was already invited, and I mean it's not like you need an invite, but someone asked me to play already, and I was just like,
Was it Damien?
No, it was Josh. I was like, I didn't even.
Yeah, man.
bad,
This
dude.
this
I just don't want to play. I don't want to play disc golf in the winter. I just don't.
it's different because
I want to skateboard in the winter.
I've seen discs just shatter against trees when it's like bitter cold. I mean, I've been playing for a few years. Got my Zuka cart.
Zuka.
We got a whole Zuka guy over here,
Oh man,
cart and all.
it's
This guy's pulling around a whole ass bar with him.
yeah, pretty much. It's pretty nice though. I mainly use sidearm. I use a Firebird for a lot of throws. Getting them skips. It's really fun.
Greg has one that's the Eye of Sauron, and I like it.
Yeah. No, that's one of my favorite discs of his.
Yes.
He has a dyed disc.
Yeah.
A what?
A dyed disc.
He does? Who
That's
does?
yeah, the Eye of Sauron.
He
Yeah, it's
does?
a dyed. It's
He
a
said
dyed
he
disc.
has one.
I didn't
It's
even
dyed.
know
Yeah,
that. I
yeah,
thought it
it's-
was just like printed on there. Oh shit.
It might be. Well, no, it's
I don't
probably
know.
a Discraft, right? So it's
I've
probably
never
No,
seen
a,
I think the Sauron is a print, but he does have a separate dyed disc.
yeah.
So they're
maybe
all-
a couple.
there's
It's
Tie-
probably a Discraft because they have a lot
There are
of weird
tie-dye
prints.
discs as well, but dyeing a disc is what do you use? I can't remember. Isn't it like isopropyl alcohol or something?
I don't know what that word means.
Rubbing alcohol.
I can't spell it, therefore I don't use it.
Isopropyl.
Isopropyl.
ISOPROPL. No.
You just said you're purple.
No, I'm Kirby. I'm pink.
ISO purple.
So.
Are you
Sorry.
grimace?
Barney?
How do you spell iCup?
I love you. You love
That's not
me.
how you spell iCup.
We're a happy family.
I'm not gonna spell it.
I mean,
We're not children.
I
I'm not
asked you
gonna.
to.
I'm not gonna do it.
I asked you to.
Hey, did you hear Panic's breaking
you're
up?
in our studio.
Widespread Panic?
No, Panic at the Disco.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
No, I saw that like a week ago on and it kind of sucks. It kind of sucks a little bit, but shit fucking happens, you know?
Yeah. So I
It
guess
was basically just Brendan anyway.
I guess you could say they're finally closing the goddamn door.
I hate that I laughed at that.
Ooh, set up.
Got him.
Nah, they actually have kind of a funny little story about him, Brendan Urie.
Oh yeah.
One time,
If it's not funny, I get to punch you in the
it's not
foot.
funny, and it's not even like impressive, but it's
Right.
just cool. Like, I was at Summerfest in Wisconsin, actually with Greg, like 6 fucking years ago,
Right.
like a long time ago, but way before I was in Gallatin, whatever. But, and we parked our bus in the wrong parking lot of the huge music festival.
Mom, man, you gotta go. You can't stay here. You gotta go.
And for like the 5 minutes we were parked there, like celebrities were straight just walking past us. And it was just
shit.
one after the other. And I got out the bus to smoke a cigarette, and Brendan Urie, just like him and his photographer were just hanging out, taking photos. And I just shook his hand and I was like, I'm a fan.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And that was it, because he was playing that night or something.
Right.
And like, I think they're great, but you know, at this point, it's just him. It was him and the drummer for a long time. It was just the two of them.
I will say I'm a big Brendan Urie fan because
He's got a great voice.
having a musical theater background, right? I got tickets to see Kinky Boots on Broadway in New York
Yeah.
City, and Brendan Urie was casted to play.
Cool.
I want to say Johnny. Oh God, don't, my musical theater people, please don't be mad at me if I got that wrong. He played the main male, right? He's at his father's like shoe shop, whatever, and you guys probably don't know Kicking Boots, but I'll tell you that story later. I was so pissed off seeing that show. The cast did a beautiful job. Like, it's nothing against the cast. It was the Panic at the Disco fans, because they have no etiquette in a theater. Brendan Urie pops out of nowhere, right?
Oh, they were like going
Screaming.
crazy.
He
Yeah.
hits one high note, they scream.
Yeah,
It's
that
like,
makes
bro,
sense.
like
Yeah.
if you like, it's not a concert, it's a show. You wait till the number's done before you clap and you go nuts, right?
Yeah.
And then the amount of people, like, I felt bad for the theater workers, because you're not allowed to take photos or videos at a Broadway show. Like, that's a thing. There's some theaters that
Yeah.
make you lock your phone away in the
Totally.
seat. Like, there's certain things on it, but the ushers were literally just walking around, just collecting phones or waiting, be like, you need to delete that photo, you need to delete that video. Like, right now, you have to do it in front of me right now. And it's like, geez, Louise.
I've seen 2 Broadway shows. I saw Rock of Ages,
Heck yeah.
and I saw Motown the Musical.
Hell
And
yeah.
They were awesome. The little kid that played Michael Jackson at Motown.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I've seen quite a few shows.
None of the popular ones, though. I haven't seen them. They're like Lion King.
I don't think I've ever seen any theater, hardly at all.
This fun. You should go sometime.
The
Yeah.
closest I've been to theater was a high school production of Harvey.
Ooh.
Harvey.
Yeah, I know
Yeah,
Harvey.
And
There's an invisible rabbit. It's
it's a guy who has like it's like about a guy who has like an invisible rabbit that's follows him around, I guess, kind of. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not big into theater, but point being, I was the rabbit. So my only part in the play was to walk out on stage in a giant rabbit costume at one point towards the end.
We had a guy in high school.
That's about it, man.
When we did Into the Woods. Into the Woods is like
by Steven Sondheim.
it's like literally
Love
like
Steven
a
Sondheim.
fairy tale, got like farm animals and shit. We had a
they're
person,
basically fairy
a
tales.
kid, this poor kid, who like this like introverted kid, right? Who auditioned to be the cow, and like
It's an important part.
well, it really actually is, and like it's
cow is
played
why
by
it's
a
milk.
human, but like literally, like it was just like, man, like when he was in the auditions, I remember people were like, do you want to audition for like the main role or whatever? Like he was like, nope, I want to be the cow.
Jack's cow.
I want to be the cow. And he fucking got it. And he rocked it.
He rocked it?
Was, dude, white face paint, cow suit, utter like everything.
It's such a good
Cool.
show.
Yeah.
Oh my
Good
gosh.
for that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love Stephen Sondheim and everything to do. He is.
Oh, he did the soundtrack on the Sweeney Todd movie, right? Yeah. Man, I have listened to that a lot. I love that.
I mean, Sweeney Todd is just a great show.
I've never seen like an actual
You've seen the Johnny
the
Depp
movie,
one.
yeah. But I mean,
I haven't even seen
I'm
that.
a Johnny Depp fan.
Really?
so-
Yeah.
Oh, you got to. It's great.
I
The
know
movie?
I know it's a demon barber, but
But-
that's it.
I've never seen anything about it,
No.
like movie or theater or
No.
anything. I mean, the movie's good.
The demon
sure.
barber of Fleet Street.
All right, we're here with our buddy Kirby. I work with Kirby at Prince Street Pizza and Pub in Gallatin. He's a percussionist. Is that an accurate word? He
Mhm.
hits things to make sound.
I hit paper with sticks.
Okay, that's
That's all it is.
I guess. Well, no, not all the time. I guess. No, you get the shaker down,
Oh yeah.
the cowbell.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm a drummer first,
Right.
and I started playing percussion like 6 years ago.
You heard that, ladies. He's a drummer first, but a lover second.
Hey, I mean, hey, you keep the tempo, right?
Right.
I mean, chicks dig that.
This is why we're here. So Kirby, where are you from? Where'd you grow up, bud?
I'm from Fort Smith, Arkansas.
Arkansas, for those who
Yep.
actually pronounce it
This
correctly.
podcast is Tennessee on Tap. Arkansas is right next to Tennessee. A lot of people don't know that.
Arkansas
For
on
some reason.
alcohol.
Say what?
Arkansas on alcohol.
Oh.
Tennessee on tap, Arkansas.
Oh, shit.
Come on, get with the program.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That's very witty.
So did you always want to like be a percussionist? Like what got you into?
So, long story short, I started playing guitar when I was like 10 or 11.
Yeah.
But because I wanted to be like Drake Bell on Drake and Josh.
That was your
And like
inspiration?
he got all the girls, right? I was like,
Found a
damn.
way,
I
found a
I was like, damn, I want to play
way.
guitar. Well, I did like a year of guitar lessons at 11 or 12, and it just didn't stick. Like
Right.
after that year, I was like, I only knew my teacher wasn't that great. Like he wasn't teaching me how to play. He was like, it was weird.
You were looking for a like School of Rock Jack Black.
Well, yeah.
But what you got was
I got homework, and I didn't really like that. So I went a few years without doing anything.
Sounds
and-
like you were more Josh than Drake.
totally.
Are you calling me a liar?
I painted a house with my dad and my brother-in-law when I was 13,
Okay.
and I got $300 from that. And as a 13-year-old with $300,
That's a lot.
possibilities are
Yeah.
endless. Like, you know,
Big money.
I
That's
went
so
to
many
a
Playboy
pawn shop
magazines.
and bought a fucking drum set for $350, and my brother paid the extra 50. And
Oh.
it's
God.
just that's where it started. And by the end of the first day of bringing it home, I was playing a beat.
Do you remember the first song you learned?
Absolutely. It was oh boy.
Oh,
It's by a band called The Afters, and it's beautiful, beautiful love, something like that. It was like an early 2000s pop rock song.
Gotcha.
And beautiful love that I don't know, beautiful love and I don't know, like really like just like up tempo shit. And yeah, that was also POD, Youth of the Nation.
okay.
It's big drum song, like
Yeah.
that was a big one too. And I've always learned by ear. I'm not like a
So-
lesson guy. Like
Who was your inspiration for drumming then? Like to learn to that you wanted to be. You just picked up sticks and was like, this is
Yeah,
better than
who was
guitar.
your,
The
who was your Drake
closest-
Bell of drumming?
well, the closest would be my uncle.
Okay.
My uncle is a drummer. but he's got an amazing voice. So lately,
Yeah.
like in his old age, he's just been singing. He's not really been playing the drums, but he's the only person in my family that's a musical. And so like that
What
is
the hell's a musical?
that is where I got that. But other than that, it was just learned. Like I learned about drummers on my journey, and like I'm still discovering drummers that I like.
Yeah,
I know you're a big fan of John Bonham.
I am. And you know what? If you had asked, if we had been doing this 10 years ago, I probably wouldn't even know who John Bonham was.
Yeah.
So it's just in the journey, you kind of discover who your favorites are.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a huge thing, especially musical theater person. Like what I've always wanted to be, like who, like which actors on Broadway that I'm like, that's what I want to do. You know, what characters are they like?
What is that? What's your ideal character? What's your number one character you want to play?
Man, I was obsessed with Green Day growing up. So when American Idiot the musical came out,
Yeah.
I
Haven't seen it.
Oh my gosh!
I've heard the songs.
It's a
from it,
mashup of American
I wasn't
Idiot.
even aware that was a thing.
It's fucking cool.
Gosh,
Yeah,
I'll show you. There's a lot of great videos on YouTube about it.
Well,
And like Billy Joe got to, like, he was Saint Jimmy, which is one of he's the alter ego of Johnny. He got to play Saint Jimmy on Broadway, and he'd throw like Twizzlers into the crowd. Like he was just going nuts.
Nice.
And there's a really good documentary about it. I think it's just called Broadway Idiot.
Mhm.
I think that's what the documentary is called. And it's behind the stage about like what happens when the cast finds out they were actually put on Broadway. They were at
Yeah, that's right.
I want to say the VMAs or something. Like they performed there, and then that night when they were announced, that's when they found out they were on Broadway. Like they got the approval by producers and all that they were actually going to be on Broadway, not just an off-Broadway show.
It's so funny we're talking about that, because like one of my biggest goals as a musician is to be a pit band drummer.
Oh yeah.
Because if you get the job, especially like in New York on Broadway, if you get a job to be a drummer in the pit band, you are like one of the best drummers in the business, because literally you have to have all these sounds, all these different tones and sounds to fit with the production, but also you're watching a screen with the camera on the stage. So you are watching what's going on stage above you, right? And then you also have sheet music in front of you that you are following. And musicals don't stop. It's 2 hours of music. Like there's always something, like, and so that to me would be like the pinnacle of I've made it.
So if that's your pinnacle, where are you right now? What are you doing right now? Who are you playing with? Where are you going? Tell me
right
about that.
now. So since I moved to Nashville, I knew I was going to be playing a lot of country. And I don't have a problem with that. Like I do like country music. It's not my like preferred everyday listen. Like I like a lot of funk. I like rap.
You always wear a cowboy hat. Get out of here.
No, totally. I play a cowboy. I am a fake cowboy, is what I am.
You're
because
a cowboy.
I'm a hired drummer. So, which means like
Cowboy
whoever
playgrounds.
I'm playing for, it's my job to
fit
that vibe.
Yeah.
And so I'm okay with like wearing a cowboy hat, even though I don't do it all the time.
You do rock that cowboy hat.
Well, thank you.
It's pretty sweet.
It's awesome. I love wearing it on stage. So I'm playing with a guy named JD Clayton right now.
All right.
I grew up with him in high school in Arkansas.
Oh, cool. So he's like in Nashville.
He's in Nashville and he just got signed. And so that's why I'm like on tour like crazy right now.
Yeah, you're on the road.
Yeah, where are you guys going to?
Next week we're going to Michigan, and then we're going to Chicago, and then we're doing a couple dates in Indiana with Josh Turner, the Long Black Train guy.
Okay.
If you know that song.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah. Really nice fucking voice. But we're doing that, and then we got a week off, so I'll be back, and then we leave for 3 weeks for like Colorado, Texas, and Arkansas.
Hell yeah.
Oh man.
So
pretty busy month.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy, and I'm very thankful for it. But it's one of those things where like just got to go out there and do it. I love performing live in front of audiences.
Oh man, I miss it so much.
Like in front of different people every night and seeing a new city and being engaged in the culture and everything. Like that's traveling for a living is why I'm doing it.
Oh yeah.
Like
I
music is great. Like I love playing music, but playing music is a way to travel and get paid to travel. And it's like,
yeah, it's a little
it's ridiculous. It's
itself.
ridiculous. Is what I just said. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, man. I mean, I've gone to like a number of music festivals and stuff and traveled around to see some music, but you don't really get to take in the whole experience of the city when you go to do something like
Absolutely
that.
not.
And
a lot of times,
like a little camp, like commune type thing. Compared,
a lot of times we'll be at a hotel.
Yeah,
like we were at a hotel in Buffalo, New York, and we were only there for a day, and so there was a little brewery right next to the hotel. And that's where we hung out for like a day, and then we left. Well, and it's like, damn, like that's all we get. But you know, little things like that is cool. Like vintage shops, we always like try to get vintage clothes, especially in Texas. Like they got.
I will say you got some great style, my dude.
Oh well, thank you.
I noticed that jacket you were rocking earlier.
Yeah,
pretty tight.
That was a gift.
Nice.
A gift.
A gift.
So being on the road, it's fun seeing new cities and all that. When you're home, do you have to go through like a decompress thing where you're just like, I don't want to talk to anybody, I want to be my own thing? Like,
dude, there's been so many times where I have come home from the road. Right. Okay, so this is the logistics. I drive my car to Nashville. I park it in a location where the band meets, and we get in a van and we leave. And our cars stay there for like a week, right? So
you always travel by van?
Yeah, usually, yeah.
Like to all these different states?
Yeah, like a church van, like a big old you know thing, but with a trailer or whatever. There's like 5 or 6 guys, but so there's been a lot of times where we get back to Nashville and we all get in our cars and we part ways, and I come back up to Gallatin, and before I go home, I go to Prince Street.
That's right. You got to grab a beer, right?
Literally before I even go home and see my cat or my roommates, it's like, no, I need a fucking beer at Prince Street right now.
Yeah.
Like, so I do need that decompress thing, but it's more of like,
with that.
Like that's really like
checking on
where I feel like I'm home. Yeah, it's like hell yeah.
That place is a home.
No, totally.
That's all of our homes.
I need that decompress, but at the same time, it's so fun doing it. It's crazy.
It's like I was telling you earlier. It's like my version of Cheers.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I walk in and
for sure.
Like, hey,
for sure.
So there's nothing but family in there.
Yeah, it's.
Does this podcast know about Prince Street? Have y'all been saying anything about it?
We haven't really discussed
We
locations
need
We
to.
haven't discussed it quite yet, but it's definitely going to be a part of the pod for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely going to be a recording location.
Yeah, probably our first other location recording,
like a live from.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah, we have a lot of plans of.
It's our local watering hole.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hydration station.
Yes, the hydration station, man.
So every guy in the band, the country band, has a mustache. Except one. So there's 5 guys and 4 guys have a mustache. And we were at that same brewery in Buffalo.
Yeah.
And we sat down next to this guy drunk as fuck. And the first thing he said was, I'm gonna rate y'all's mustaches. And I came in 3rd, which I was pretty salty about.
Yeah, I was gonna say 3 out of 5.
I came in 3rd, and I thought I'd be 1st.
I mean, you got a solid stash.
Well, thanks, but I mean, if you saw the other guys, man, one of them has a curled up.
Saw the other guy.
Oh yeah, that's funny.
You got a name for your mustache?
Fuck no, that's weird. Do you have a name for your mustache?
No, I know a guy. I know a guy's got a name for his mullet.
Oh yeah, Terry's in the bag. We've already talked about Terry.
Back it up, Terry.
This all just needs to be backed up.
Do you have a favorite place you've gone so far?
Oh,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh boy, that's a hard question because
Absolutely. I don't know, man.
okay. Well,
Yeah.
make it more specific, like place I've played or place I've actually just traveled on my own.
the place you
I'll start with this. How much downtime do you have if you're there for one day?
So we usually get to the venue at like 3:00.
Okay.
We do sound check and then we're done by 5. And we have about 3 hours before we go on at 8.
Okay.
And we're opening for somebody. So we usually do our set, get up the fuck off stage, and then party our asses off watching the other band.
Yeah.
And then we sleep in a hotel nearby and then leave.
Okay.
So kind of none. We have basically 3 hours between sound check and the show if we want to go explore.
That's so the
That's
best
it.
maybe.
And a lot of times we just stay in the green room and chill.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, like at
So-
best maybe like an hour to walk.
Yeah.
If there's like
But
if there's like a restaurant or something like right down the
Yeah.
street that has to go
and
to
the
a bar.
logistics work out to where sometimes we have a day off in a city. Like we had a day off in
Just make a
Austin.
thing of it.
And just straight up like went around Austin all day. Like, you know, when we were in Philly, we got to like go up the Rocky stairs and
Right.
shit. Like we had the time to do that, but and like I try to make it a point to do shit like that because I don't want to just be old men and go out there and do the gig and come
Right.
home. And I'm like,
Yeah, I get that.
We're seeing the world, man. We gotta like we went to Niagara Falls. Like
Oh,
it's
that's
like,
awesome.
come on. Like we were in Buffalo, which is 30 minutes from that shit.
Mhm.
So I was like, we have to go do that. So like I try to make it a point to
Oh, that's
do shit
that's
like
awesome.
that.
You know,
So that being said, given that you only have those 3 hours and you're usually staying in the place that you're
Mhm.
playing at, what's been your favorite venue?
not city, venue.
I know that's a good question. I would say the one thing that pops out to my mind is the Ogden Theater in Denver, Colorado.
Wrong, it's Prince Street.
I didn't think about that.
We set your ass up.
And the only reason is because one, it's Denver, but I was on the road with Daniel Donato,
Okay.
and we were opening for Paul Cawthon, and that place was fucking rocking. Like, just the sound was amazing. It was a great sized room. It was packed in there, and like I think we had a really good show. But I could sit here and rattle off all the venues that I like because
Right.
Texas is holding a special place in my heart right now. Like, something about Texas, man, and the people there, like, and the culture. They have their own music bubble. Like Nashville is a music bubble, but Texas is also a music bubble, like the whole fucking state. It's crazy. Like, they have their own artists that tour
Kind of a different,
only in Texas.
kind
Like,
of different vibe though.
yeah, well, and the people are like proud, but not pretentious, but also like, fuck you if you don't like what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like it's, I really like Texas a lot.
Like the get with it or get out.
Yeah,
type
yeah.
vibe.
And I like Colorado a lot, of course, but
Of course.
and I love Tennessee, and
I mean, so how often are you playing shows in Nashville?
pretty often. We just did one at 3rd and Lindsley a couple weeks ago. And I play with other artists too. So I've only really talked about JD, but there's other, like, I'm a hired drummer. So there's artists that I play for that call me when they need like a recording session or a random gig in town, like even
Right.
down on Broadway. Like, I've played on Broadway so many times, like, and that's just tip money, you know. That's
just
like
drummer for hire.
absolutely. So that's like what I've just been doing is just that.
So you're talking mainly just regular, like a drum kit. How long have you been doing other type of percussion, such as, you know, like your hand drums and stuff?
Is it good?
It's fine.
That's fine. We'll just cut it off.
Fell asleep. It's fine. It's still recording.
Cool.
Nice. So like hand percussion, yeah, that started with ALB actually. Because when I met those guys like 6 years ago, they were like, "Yeah, we got a drummer," and they had the old drummer, not Seth, but the old drummer. But we really want you to be a part of it. Are you cool with like hand percussion? And I got on Craigslist and I looked up hand percussion, right? Like congas.
Yeah, I was gonna ask
Congas
if you
and
already
shit.
had some, or if you
No,
had to go get it.
I
just
bought
for
that
this.
shit for that band.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And I in Chattanooga, this dude had those 2 congas and bongos for like $200, and that's a steal.
Yeah.
And I was like, I drove my ass 2.5 hours to Chattanooga, bought those congas from him, and drove back, and that's how I started with that.
Love that for you.
Yeah.
That was tasty.
Time to crack another one.
And having a drum kit background obviously translate to percussion really easily.
Oh yeah,
It's
I'm
not,
sure.
you're just using your hands.
See, so I used to go with some friends of mine down at Broadway back when I was like in high school, and we would just play on, just play on Broadway for
Yeah,
fun.
you used to busk, right?
Yeah,
fuck yeah.
I used to busk around my buddies. Just
I
for
tried
fun.
that one time, didn't make anything.
We just go down there for beer money. It was just for fun.
Yeah.
But I have no background in percussion whatsoever. But I would go down there with a djembe and just be
Hell
smacking
yeah.
away while my buddy played acoustic, and we just play like covers of Devil Make 3 songs, stuff
How
like
much?
that.
Okay, so like, what's the most you made doing that?
You should be
in one?
surprised. It depends on the time of the night, man.
I literally I did it one time with my congas and made like $10.
Right.
If you stay late, if you stay there till late at night, you'll make some money.
Yeah.
Because when the people start spilling out of the bars on Broadway,
Sure.
come 2:30,
They're throwing it at
3 in
you.
the morning. See, so the secret is you don't sit there and play music and just play whatever you know. The secret is you sit there, and when people start walking by, say, "Hey, is there something you want to hear?" And
Yeah.
they're like, "Oh yeah, play this song." And you're like, "Well, I don't know that one, but I know something pretty close to it."
There is some money
And
on
you started
Broadway.
playing, whatever that sounds semi close to what they want, and they're like, "Oh hell yeah, dude!"
Yeah.
And they'll just like toss you $20.
Yeah. Dude, if I go
It's always the drunks leaving the bar at like 3 in the morning that'll tip you real good.
If I go play on Broadway on any given night, like as a drummer in one of those bands, one of those 30 bands down there,
Yeah.
like I can walk away with $300 pretty easily in 4 hours.
Oh yeah.
Like there's money down there. Those guys are making money, which is good.
I'd say top busking, like when we sat there for like 4 or 5 hours, like we maybe made like $100-something at some point, but
That's
like
great.
I said, but it was just for beer money.
Yeah.
We'd have one person that was just hanging out, not drinking and chilling, playing music with us, and the rest of us would just have a few beers while we were down there chilling. Every time we made about $40-$60, you just walk down to the store, grab a couple 40s, come back.
40s.
Holy
Holy
Well,
fuck.
that's how
Edward
you-
40 hands
That's
over
how you
here.
do it on Broadway. You're not gonna sit. I'm sorry, there's not a craft beer
Have y'all
stand.
seen How I Met Your Mother?
There's no craft
yeah.
beer stands on Broadway.
Nah.
I got a question for you, bud.
Yeah,
Have you ever played a gig at the Springwater?
absolutely. Couple.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, the Springwater used to be an indoor smoking place.
It's
but,
not anymore.
But that stopped. I'd say several years before like the whole COVID thing.
Sure.
Like
The last time I was there, it was smoking because ALB played there.
that must have been 6+ years ago.
Yeah.
It's been a hot minute. I feel like
That was actually one of my
definitely
first
big
gigs
time,
with them.
Big
was
time shout out
Springwater.
to the Springwater in Nashville across from Centennial
It's
Park.
awesome.
One of my favorite places in Nashville. Love that place.
I hope it sticks
I would love
around.
to see ALB there one day, but I've seen another friend of ours. I've seen his band play there.
Yeah.
And
Dude,
yeah,
we
it's
played
just-
there.
It's a great spot.
We played there 5 years ago.
Huh.
Yeah.
5 years.
That was
ago.
one of my first gigs with them.
That's one of my favorite places in Nashville, hands down. Pretty close knit, good place to be.
What's y'all's favorite brewery in Nashville? Like, do you have a favorite? I mean, you
Well, like to go to like a tap
conflict
house,
of interest.
like a tap house.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like you don't have a tap house.
Nope.
Yeah, so I prefer Tennessee Brew Works,
Okay.
mostly because of their food. Their beer's really good, and they use a lot of their beer in their food. And
Would I know one of their beers?
You have the Urban Hiker, you have Hippies and Cowboys.
Hippies and Cowboys.
Yeah, I know, it's the biggest one.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So they have a 5-beer burger on their menu, and it's been rated one of the best burgers in Nashville. And it's a little expensive, but it is a juicy burger that, I mean, it's just phenomenal. And their ketchup,
perfection.
They need to put their ketchup back on the market. I'm just saying, they bottled it for like a little bit and sold it. It's the Basil Ryman beer,
Homemade ketchup
with in the ketchup.
Ooh.
And it is so good, and it's got that just earthy flavor to it. Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
Man, you're making me hungry.
I know. I'm sorry.
I got chicken fried rice across the street.
I don't know to answer your question. I don't think I really have a favorite one, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I like to just
I would say
try different ones.
Yazoo. I really like Yazoo.
Well, they're in Madison now.
I mean, they're solid. Yeah, they're in Madison.
I love that
days.
Gerst. Oh,
Gerst, yeah.
It's
When
one of
back
my
when they had the
favorites.
Gerst house.
Gerst is a solid one for sure.
But
I've always been a big fan of the Hefe.
I mean,
Yeah.
I used to we used to do brewery crawls, as we call them in our family. We'd start at Bearded Iris in Germantown. Then we would shoot down toward, it was Yazoo, Jackalope,
Yeah.
Tennessee Brew Works. We'd try and hit something else on the way back up here. You know, it's so like, I love Bearded Iris. They have awesome beer. And like,
Are they in Nashville?
They're in Germantown.
I've never seen their building.
It's so far just like out in like.
I would love to go there and have a home style from there.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
It's absolutely great.
Homestyle is classic.
Oh man, one of my favorites. Oh my gosh. Homestyle introduced me to IPA. Like that was the first IPA I ever had, and I was like, okay, I guess I like IPA. And most of all the IPAs I have, I'm like, hell yeah, good people, not Tennessee.
Yeah.
But another good one.
Yeah.
I think the one that brought me into IPAs was probably, not a Tennessee beer, but Scofflaw, the POG, the passion fruit orange guava.
Yeah.
Their POG IPA.
I used to hate IPAs.
Oh, I did too.
And you just kept having to try them until you
I don't think it's an acquired. It's definitely an acquired.
It wasn't because I tried them and I didn't like them. It was because my dad constantly would always drink the Lagunitas IPAs. And just them. It's not because he drank them a lot or I cared about it or anything, or that it wasn't the smell. It's just the fact that they're just around all the time turned me off the idea of them. And of course I'd tried them a few times and I didn't love like the hoppiness at first. But when I tried that passion fruit orange guava, man, it was a game changer.
I'll tell you a quick story before we wrap this part up. My brother-in-law hated IPAs. Now, absolute hophead, right? He had a buddy that was obsessed with IPAs, obsessed with craft beer, and my brother-in-law was like, nah, I'm just not into it. And he goes, you have to follow this. This is what you have to do. If you're not a fan of IPAs, go to your local store, find 6 Point Resin. So 6 Point Brewing Company, it's called Resin. It is like 104 on the IBU scale, so it's super bitter. It's a 12-ounce can. You have to chug 2 of them. You're going to hate your life. But you have to chug 2 of them, and then within a week and a half, you'll be craving hops. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. Like I've told people about it, and they've done it. Like 3 or 4 people.
I've heard you explain that process before to people.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah.
It's like coffee,
I know. Yeah.
Coffee's an acquired taste, and so is IPA. But that home style, man, the citrus, that's what sells it.
That's the one that people who don't love IPAs fall in love with.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's fruity and it's juicy. Well, we're back. So Kirby, I wanted to ask you a question about when you're on the road.
Okay.
What do you think your most embarrassing moment has been on stage while you're playing a gig? Anytime something just ridiculous has happened.
Oh man. That's a hard one, actually. Because back on the drums, I don't
You're just
really.
too cool to be embarrassed.
Well, no, back on the drums, like if things go wrong, like it's not really like noticed.
Yeah, I could see that.
Totally. Like I've dropped sticks a lot, like, and that's kind of like whatever.
I've seen those
Trying to
videos.
get a little
Totally.
trying to get too flashy sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. I want to say something like my clothes fell off or some shit, but
you took them off on purpose.
yeah.
My brother-in-law is a drummer. He grew up with like Dream Theater. Like he's a great drummer. I remember he would tell us me with shows if like the guys were like goofing off or something on stage, he'd be like mid beat going after it, you know, and they'd be fucking around on stage and he would throw a drumstick at them to get them back.
Yeah.
Because he would just be like, dude, right to the back of the head.
I think
360 no scope.
Oh yeah.
I think my answer to that actually, I have a better answer. I don't really get embarrassed.
Challenge accepted.
I mean I
Shouldn't
do
have told me
like
that, bud.
there are certain things, of course, where
Lucky
I'm like,
this isn't video.
like when I get called out at work, or like I get like really called out in any where I'm like, damn, like yeah, that sucks, you know, like I get that feeling.
Right.
But when I'm playing music, like I make sure to play what like my heart is and what I believe is right and what I believe the song fits. And because I do that, I don't really get embarrassed because there's no room for embarrassment. It's like that is what I'm doing and that's what I'm here to do. And so I just don't feel those types of emotions when I'm on stage a lot, which is really fucking cool.
Yeah,
like
awesome,
it's
man.
not like not everybody can be like that, but like it's one of those things I just turn it on.
Well, hey, good for you, man. Because if I get on stage, I'm gonna shit my pants.
No, there's something to say about like getting up on stage, doing your own thing,
Yeah, well,
and being you.
You're a performer as well.
Yeah.
Like you're a natural performer, and I'm a natural performer. Like there's something about the stage; it doesn't make me nervous. It doesn't like. I'm fucking ready.
I still get
Let's
stage fright, man. Like but I use that stage fright to what I'm doing. It's just that energy that you get, and you travel at a bunch of different crowds and a bunch of different cultures and all that. The exchange of energy on the stage to what you guys are doing is like that always kept me like I crave that energy.
Totally.
The exchange, because
man, I can't even sing karaoke without freaking out.
Well, and like when I'm in the studio, it's a clearly different thing because when I'm in the studio, there's no audience.
None.
You are literally, it can feel stale and like you're boxed in and you're just in this thing. But when you're on stage in front of a new crowd,
right,
you're feeding off that energy.
No, I could relate that like the studio feeling to skateboarding.
Okay.
Because like when I'm out there skating, if there's a bunch of other people at the park, you know,
you kind of want to show off a little bit.
No, I'm the opposite. I'm dog shit.
Well,
I get more nervous.
So you don't want to like.
Well, I mean, I'm not that good, man. Like if like people show up, like I mean, and most of the time they're younger than me. Man, kids these days are killing it on skateboards, but you know, I see someone show up and they're like just kicking ass immediately as soon as they get there. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna hang out over here now.
Yeah,
I don't want to get shown up by this kid. Nah, it's not like that. Everyone at the skate parks are always super cool with their family. Usually everyone's just cheering each other on.
I can't wait till the summer, man. I'm gonna take my BMX bike out there and skate with you and fucking ride with you. Well, like, I've never done like the ramps and shit.
Well, just bring it out there and do what you want to do, man. Like,
no, I'm gonna be casual about it.
That's the vibe that I think everyone should try to bring to skate parks is give everybody else a lot of love. You know, like make sure when you're there that you're making other people feel comfortable. Like you don't want to be like showing off and trying to like be like, oh, I bet I can do this trick. If you see someone else try to do a trick and you know you can do it, like don't follow up behind them and do the same trick. And
that's
like,
skate park etiquette.
You know, like don't just be like, hey, I just saw someone try something. Be like, if you see them try them and you know you can do it, go up and say, hey, can I give you some advice? Like, hey, would you like me to try to show you?
Yeah.
Or like something like that.
Yeah, give him some helpful tips
Yeah,
and
be
all.
helpful. You know, it's all about love.
And that's the same with disc golf too. I mean, there's an etiquette that you have to have where, you know, you throw and you hit a tree or something. It always happens, you know.
Yeah, at least every time I play.
Me.
So you can't just go out there and just start cursing and throwing your stuff, and you know, but it happens, right? It happens. It's just an etiquette thing where you are ruining the vibe and the energy of everyone else around you and your card mates. You need to go. Just go. Leave. Because what you're doing now is ruining everyone else's experience.
It's understandable to want to try hard and do really good.
Right.
And it's understandable when you have a mistake to be upset, but
like if you were going in skate park, going around, everyone was doing cool tricks together. Like they're all waiting to see what the next person's going to do. Cause I've hung out with you guys at
you wait in line, and it's
right.
It's almost like when people surf, you know, like they have their turn on the wave.
Right. But if one guy came out there and like he kept trying to hit a trick, and he couldn't do it, and he just went out, snapped his board, threw it, and started cursing all the time, everyone would be like, what just happened?
I don't really want to hang out with that
right
guy.
It's like he stays around. It's not like he leaves. If he leaves, you don't have to worry about anything. But if he stays around and keeps doing that and just starts cursing like, man, F this, F that, blah blah blah, you're gonna leave. You don't want to be around that.
Well, I mean, I can't say I didn't do that back in the day. I mean, you definitely, if you're into skating, like emotions get pretty high.
Really? And I don't know anything about skating.
Well, the thing about skating is it's not a team sport. It's everyone's there to try to support each other for the most part, you know, but you got your assholes here and there. Of course.
Yeah.
But for the most part, everyone's supporting each other, but it's not a team sport. Like no one can force you to try something new. No one can be like, hey, you got to do this. Like if you want to learn something new, you have to motivate yourself to do it.
Yeah.
And it's a process, man. Like I think that's the reason a lot of kids like gravitate towards skateboarding is because it's like a thing where it's like, hey, no one else is going to be able to tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Like if I want to do this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah. I always knew the skating kids in high school by the Osiris shoes. Purple and orange.
Oh my gosh.
Just,
I had a friend in school that swore that they were called ostriches.
Ostriches?
Not Osiris.
You said you had 2 questions. What was the other one?
Yeah. My other one I wanted to ask you, man, is so like, do you have any specific
What do you smell
bands?
like naked?
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to Lucan.
Gross.
No, I wanted to ask you,
Lucan.
Are there any like specific bands or anything that you get like that you draw inspiration from? Like, I mean, like,
fuck yeah.
obviously there are, but what would you say, like, are your, I don't know, maybe even like,
okay,
top, like,
I like this one,
2, 3, something like that, you know?
And
not just the drummer, but like the bands in general, like their sound.
My favorite band of all time is the Eagles.
Okay.
Mainly because it's nostalgic. My mom was a teacher at the elementary school that I went to, so I rode with her to school every single day for like 6 years, and she would play the Eagles and Keith Urban. And so it was in a way like some of the first music I ever heard and connected with.
You grew up in Arizona, correct? Arkansas.
A lot of people confuse it with that, which is hilarious.
It's mostly because Jameson's from Arizona, right?
Yeah, he's from Arkansas.
No, yeah.
What?
Yeah,
Jameson and I are from the same state. Yeah, Arkansas.
Well, sorry for that, but
yeah.
So
the
starts with the name.
Arkansas, but that's crazy. Keith Urban, big Keith Urban fan.
Yeah,
from Australia.
That is
another A.
That is honestly a whole different discussion. The Keith Urban thing.
But continue. I'm sorry.
No. The Eagles is probably one of my favorite bands of all time. And for as far as like my musicality, like I pull a lot from jam bands, pull a lot from Tedeschi Trucks Band.
Oh yeah.
Wonderful.
One of my favorites, Goose, Pigeons. I'm looking at 3 pictures right there, like straight up.
Gator don't play no shit.
And then going even like a little further, like I would say like, I don't want to be that guy and say like the Beatles, but obviously the Beatles created a lot of things that inspire everyone as a musician.
It's original.
A lot of the UK bands, man, like the Stones, I kind of hated the Stones for a long time, and I'm kind of getting around to them and the Grateful Dead and stuff like that. But yeah, man, like I grew up on country. I grew up on that Keith Urban, Jason Aldean, like
I said, makes
fucking
a lot of sense why you're
bro country,
getting hired to play in country bands.
And it feels like it comes natural that way. But
I've seen you play some country stuff.
I really like the funk though. I love the funk and the rock and the blues, and
funk that's my jam.
That's the same. Yeah, absolutely.
It is fun watching you play, because you can really tell when you get into it.
Oh,
and
you make the funk face.
Yeah, yeah.
You definitely
you kind of look like Grumpy Cat, but
yeah, right. No, absolutely. Yeah. No, yeah. It's the faces thing is funny because when I first started playing, my mom saw me play one time in the first few years, and she was like, "You make all these funny faces," and she was like, she literally said, like, don't stop doing that.
Yeah.
And so I don't even think about it.
Honestly,
you
and Greg have the best faces.
Greg's got some good ones. Oh my gosh. He's got some good ones.
Well, Greg just has a wonderful face in general.
That's true.
Yeah.
Now that reminds me,
he's going to be on here soon.
Yeah. That reminds me back when when I would play basketball in middle school, like I would always, when I go to like do a layup or something, I would always stick my tongue out like on accident.
That's for accuracy. Right?
Yeah, it's like a targeting system.
Yeah.
But I remember my coach at the time told me, he was like, "Hey, don't worry," because someone was making fun of me about it. And he was like, "Hey, don't worry about it." He's like, "Michael Jordan does the same thing." I don't know if he did or not, honestly, but it made me feel a lot better.
Of course. I
was like, yeah, all right, I'm going to make whatever the hell face I want.
Well, and as a drummer, it's like you're sitting while the rest of the band is standing, basically.
Right.
And I'm very limited on like the presence that I can have on a stage.
Yeah, so, you don't have a twisting drum kit or anything.
No, or like that shit that goes upside down.
Oh, some of that shit's nasty.
I can see you do that though.
It's Newsboys. It's a Christian rock band, and they have a stage, right? And there's a drum set on the circular stage, and it rotates like 360. But then it also goes up. It has an arm that pushes the shit up and the drummer, and it goes like this. And so the drummer is 90-degree angle to the audience, and he's spinning around doing a drum solo.
Jeez.
That's nuts.
Yeah. Slipknot has it too.
Well, that's like Blue Man Crew, right?
It's crazy.
I was going to say that sounds like the Jesus version of Slipknot.
Yeah. Basically.
Man.
Hell yeah.
Christian rock was also a big thing in my childhood.
Oh yeah.
Like Reliant K.
Shoot, my sister went to Rev Jam.
And dude, yeah. I mean, I think
the closest thing I saw to Christian rock was Under Oath.
I would say that's Christian metal. Yes, for sure.
Yeah, that was probably the closest I got.
Yeah. Dude, I dyed my hair black. I was in it. I was in it to win it.
Well, before,
I had a heavy scene face.
Before it was called Justin Bieber haircut. That's just what all the emo kids had.
Yeah.
True.
But I did the faux hawk. I did the
oh no.
I gel straight up the middle with black hair.
Wow, it's like Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
It's a different time, folks.
I had that, the bangs in the eyes cut going on, and I had dyed my hair this like black color. But if you were in like a white, like fluorescent light, you could see this like little shimmers of like burgundy in it. I looked like that one kid on the goth kid on South Park with the red in his hair.
I did bleach my hair. It was in like 6th grade.
We bleached your hair?
Yeah. So we were doing we had a assignment in school where you had to dress up like some character or someone famous that you really enjoyed. I was really into WWE.
Oh, who wasn't? for at least a hot
right.
minute.
Except I was a huge Jeff Hardy fan.
Oh, the Hardy brothers.
That's right, Matt and Jeff. So I decided I had the fishnet arm, whatever, like sleeves.
You got a full on fishnet.
Yeah. And then I decided to bleach my hair, and I put purple in it.
Was this just like an everyday look?
No, this was just for this assignment, and I went so far to bleach my hair for it.
Damn.
Well, I knew because I used to just shave my head in the summer when I was younger.
Yeah.
Just because I was going to scout camp, and there were a lot of ticks up in New Jersey. So
yeah, you don't want those Jersey ticks.
Yeah, easy way to not have them is to not have
Jersey
hair.
Ticks, new band name, I call it.
Dibs. You didn't dib it, man. So I remember bleaching my hair, and then I didn't shave my head until I went on a cruise with my family, and those are the only pictures that like are out there of
Just
me
the
with
whole
bleached
shaved
hair.
ass head.
Well, no, I always had a shaved head. Like that was the thing in the summer. I would just shave it.
Yeah.
And grow all the way back.
So
Shave
you
it.
had the bleach hair pictures.
Yeah, the bleach hair pictures from the
okay.
cruise.
I once did frosted tips, and I have a picture of me with a guitar, like miming guitar, but my hair is like it looks like Justin Timberlake in NSYNC.
You went to a Preds game?
I went to a Preds game.
First Preds game?
My first not only my first Preds game, but my first hockey game ever. Like, I mean, I've never done that before. And
I've only been to one. Yeah.
Literally like within the first 5 minutes of the game, there was a fight.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, like the referees were like surrounding them as they were punching each other. And I asked the person next to me, I was like, is this like allowed? Is this part of it? And it like, yeah, like apparently it gets to a certain point where they can't beat the fuck out of each other. It's
basically when the first person hits the ice.
Really? So yeah, they were standing up, obviously, like punching at each other and shit. And I was like, damn, like this is fucking cool. But the one thing I did gather is like it was pretty intense. They were like mad dogging the other team quite a lot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's probably my favorite part about hockey is the insane shit talk.
Yes, there was a lot of that.
God.
It was fun. It was fun.
Yeah, the Preds are
I liked it.
Preds are fun to watch.
Yeah, I went to a few games this year. They're always good. Even when they're not winning, it's still pretty fun.
Beer is expensive, but
God.
Well, hey,
$13.
At least nowadays they have good options.
Yeah, I had a home style.
Yeah.
Again, I had a home style at the fucking. It was
Shout
great.
out,
That's right.
Big Iris
Great.
home style.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's good. What you're a gamer, Kirby, just like Kenny and I.
I am. I'm a fraudulent gamer.
Passive.
Passive.
Yeah.
Passive gamer.
I can go years without it, and then I'll pick it back up.
Until like Fall Guys came out, and that's all you play.
Fuck yeah. Well, no, it's not all I play, but I really like Fall Guys.
It's so simple, and you can't even get mad at it.
Oh man, it's the best.
It's my favorite to play when I'm just trying to not
Exactly.
get pissed off.
Not like and not focus too hard. Like just survival.
Okay, so what was y'all's first game
Oh boy,
that you played?
like ever.
I like that.
Shit. I want to say the first one I ever remember playing was Street Fighter 2.
Street Fighter 2.
How
Yeah.
old are you, Kenny?
Well, my uncle got either he got it for Christmas or I got it for Christmas. I honestly can't remember because it was so long
That's
ago.
like 80s, right?
Well, it was on Super Nintendo.
Oh, okay.
And it was the cartridge
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
It was Street Fighter 2.
That's 90s. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it was late 90s for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's the first one I remember playing.
I remember Super Mario 64, GoldenEye, Mario Kart.
Yeah.
That's in 64. It's in 64.
That was 64.
Yeah, the Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
GoldenEye.
The 64 games that I remember, the first one I remember, Star Fox.
on 64.
Oh my God, Star Fox 64, dude. That shit was so fun. I remember like me and my brother taking turns on that. But also, I think even before Star Fox, there was this game called Road Rash.
Road Rash.
And it was you're a motorcycle, you're a biker racing, but you have like a bat, like a club, and you can fucking knock the guy next to you off his bike and get ahead of him.
So it's just road rage.
Road
video
Rash,
game.
absolutely. Like
That's probably where Grand
Road
Theft
Rash
Auto got the idea.
on 64. That was the shit. That was like the very first one I remember.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I got obsessed with Star Fox and Zelda and shit like that.
Of
Like,
course.
yeah.
You
I've
got
never played like a wave racer game on 64.
Oh yeah. Oh, I've played that. Oh
Like
yeah.
like a ski-doo.
Do you,
Totally.
Do you remember when every like one of the main companies wanted to have their own racing game?
Yeah.
So you had like the Crash Bandicoot racing game, you had Mario Kart.
Crash Bandicoot Racing was one of my favorite.
Oh
games of
yeah.
all time.
It was so much fun.
I played that for hours on end when I was a kid. Well, like 3 of the Crash Bandicoot games, at least.
Crash Bandicoot's classic.
Yeah, for sure.
The OG Warped.
Although
and
I
CTR
wasn't
Racing.
really a PlayStation person. My cousin had the PlayStation, and I had the Nintendos and the Xboxes
Right.
and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I had my brother's Nintendo 64 and he went off in the Navy.
Yeah.
So he had that at the house, and I remember like coming home one day and it was gone because he had came home and just took it. There you have it, folks. Episode 1 under wrap here at Tennessee on Tap. Be sure to follow us at Tennessee on Tap on Instagram. We also want to hear from you, so send us an email about your favorite craft beer at tnontap@gmail.com. We'd like to thank our buddy Kirby over here for coming into the show. We would like to thank Honky Tonk for giving us such a great IPA to taste. And, life's too short for bad beer, so crack up a cold one with us. We're Tennessee on Tap. This thing.